Ladies and gents, welcome to this week's Top 5. I'm the tyrannical Northern Goose, and let me tell you, we have got some amazing builds for you this week. And that's not the only thing either, we've also got to announce the winner of last week's Top 5. That'll be coming at the end of the video, so if you're interested, make sure you stick around. Anyhow, enough bloody waffling on, let's get started. In the number 5 spot this week, we have Only Sai. With this proper nice looking house he's put together on White Springs. If you're a fan of modern builds, I'm guessing this thing is right up your street. Now, in terms of the actual building itself, right, it's not actually out of this world. It's relatively simple to do. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have any cool aspects about it. Take, for example, this wall here. Only Sai could have just used normal wall pieces here. It'd be easy for it to do, and it would still look decent. But he hasn't done. He's actually taken some time to do something a little bit different. It's a really clever use of the shelves, in my opinion, and it does make it stand out. Another thing I noticed, actually, is the roof pieces. Now, I'm not very much in touch with Atomic Shop these days. I've not built in quite a long time now. However, I'm pretty damn sure that Only Sai has double layered the roofs. You know where you've got the red stripe and the white stripe underneath it? I think it's the Helvetia set with the White Springs set underneath it. And personally, I think it looks pretty sweet. Again, it's something that Only Sai didn't have to do. It would have looked fine with either one of them sets on their own. However, much like that wall that he made, he's chose to do something a little bit extra, and it does add to the overall effect of the build. Now onto the interior. Only Sai, I like how you've actually put a bit more decor into this. Your kitchen, as per usual, is very well done. I do like the extra junk pieces you've put down though. I'll tell you something, that chessboard, it's grand, isn't it? Aye, it's really helped us decorate our camps. Yeah, overall Only Sai, great job on the decor. It's clean, it's functional, and I think it's turned out really well. Only Sai, thank you very much for entering this week. Congratulations on the number 5 spot. In the number 4 spot, we have the Akiras with the Wasteland Express build. Yeah, how the bloody hell do we go around unpacking this? There's quite a lot going on with it. Let's start off with the engine itself and try and wrap our heads around what's been used to make this. I do believe that's the barbecue trailer thing with the generator merged into it. I do believe I'm correct on that, but please let me know if I'm wrong down in the comments. Yeah, it's a very clever use of them 2 items, that is. I never would have thought that a fusion generator merged into what is effectively a wooden cart would make for a convincing locomotive engine. But it does. It's bloody bob on, that is. Very ingenuitive idea there, Akira's. Let's have a look at what else we can see. Right, so I think the actual chassis of the train is made out of Raider stash boxes, I do believe. Not actually sure if that's the correct name for them, but you know what I'm on about, don't you? We've also got a concrete barrier being used as a cow catcher. Is that what they're called? Aye, I think it is. Yeah, there's actually quite a lot that's gone into just the front end of this. Very impressive work, and like I say, very clever as well. I don't know how you guys think of this kind of stuff. I won't know where to begin. Now, the rest of the train is more conventional. Yeah, there's standard wall pieces, and it's quite clear to see how it's gone together. And I think overall, the whole train looks really well done. I do like how you've used the mole rat generators for wheels as well. So, onto your interior. Most of it is dominated by this huge food bar thing you've got going on here. And let me tell you, that is masterfully decorated. The attention to detail, how you've set it all out, how good the overall effect is. That is some next level building if I ever did see it. The interior doesn't just stop with the food area though. We've got a little sleeping quarters here. Again, very well decorated. We got the driver's cab, which is all decked out with controls and switches. You know, the kind of stuff you'd expect you'd need to drive a train. Another awesome camp and more than worthy of the number 4 spot. Akira's, thank you very much for entering this week. In the number 3 spot, we have KH Corners with the Metal Nest build. And let me tell you, right off the bat, before we go any further, right? This is the best camp I have ever seen done at this location. Hands down. For those of you that have never seen this spot before, this is called the Car Eng, and it's located just in the top end of the Savage Divide. Now, if you hadn't guessed by the name, all the cars that you see around the perimeter of this are pre-existing, including the throne in the middle as well. This makes this spot very, very unique. There is no other like it in the game, so actually trying to build a camp in it and making it work, it can be quite a challenge because you run the risk of ruining the location. It is just that good. Seriously, it's a cool ass spot, this. KH has done it justice though. It looks right. That's the best way of describing it. The thing I liked about this most, other than the location, KH, is how you've made it into a settlement, and you've done such a good job of it as well. That perimeter wall is absolutely spot on, buddy. I think a big part of it looking so good is how you've used different building materials and random bits of junk. It makes it look thrown together and very wastelandy. Same can be said for Restet build as well. It looks very ramshackled. Again, I think it's down to the types of materials you've used, but your decor plays a huge part as well. Aye, 10 out of 10 from me on this one, KH. It could actually pass as a location that Bethesda's made. It is very raidery. It fits in perfectly with Fallout. Thank you very much for entering this week. Congratulations on the number 3 spot. Alright then, in the number 2 spot, we have a brand new entrant to the competition. I repeat, a brand new entrant. It's Voiletu. Voiletu? I don't know. Right, just look at how it's spelled on your screen, guys. I couldn't tell you. Anyhow, yeah, poor French aside, it is whatever I've just said with the petrol station camp. Sorry, the gas station camp. I'm going to put this as simply as I can. This is one of the best I've seen, if not the best. It is absolutely phenomenal. Petrol stations, gas stations, however you want to say it, are not a simple thing to do. Using the Dynabar pieces now to actually make them is very, very difficult, and it has been for some time. Now, I will say Voiletu has gone down the easier route to put this together, and in this week's episode of Storytime with TNG, I will explain why. Once upon a time, you could just build up bar pieces and then build out from them. No support needed whatsoever. If you want to do that now, though, you've either got to A, float them off your camp module, or use conduits to get the same effect. I can't explain to you how much of a kick in the penis it is. It takes a long bloody time. The reason why I say Voiletu has done it the easier way is because they have used roof pieces and then placed the bar pieces on top of them. Usually, I will be honest, I'm not a massive fan of that because you don't get the same convincing look as a garage forecourt, in my opinion. However, this has totally changed my view on it. That looks absolutely incredible. You have done a fantastic job at making this look like a petrol station. It's bloody top notch. And the sign that you've made as well, those new billboard letters are absolutely killing it on there. They look fantastic. Seriously, the exterior of this thing, 10 out of 10. If we take a look on the inside of it, the decor here is okay, right? It's not the best I've ever seen, but it's okay. I will say, however, I like the counter area that you've made. That is extremely well done. But what really dragged it back for me is the refrigerators with all the Nuka-Cola in it. That looks bloody awesome. Very, very clever indeed. Now, is there a way you could have displayed the Nuka-Cola a little bit better? Possibly. But I honestly don't think it looks too bad. In this situation, guys, I think the simplest method is probably the best method. Yeah, this camp was awesome. Really impressed with the outside of it, especially. I've loved the fridge, like I mentioned. And overall, yeah, properly solid job. You've actually inspired me to build another gas station, to be honest with you. That's what I'm going to be doing this evening. Thank you very much for entering this week. Congratulations on the number 2 spot on your first time ever entering, and I do hope to see more builds from you. Okay then, so now we come to the number 1 spot, and to anybody using my Discord, this won't be any surprise to you. This week's winner is also another new entrant to the competition. It's Seruxia with the Smoker's Table. Aye, feast your eyes on that bad boy, more than a worthy winner. I mean, who else would I have put in there anyway? I guess there was this little build from Payu. Simply lovely. Yes, this week's actual winner is Payu with this masterpiece, but I would just like to say, on the subject of the Smoker's Table, that is one of the best decorated pieces of furniture I have actually seen. So fair play to you, Seruxia. I know it was actually quite complicated as well. I hope you're not too offended with me just having a little joke with it. But anyhow, yes, on to Payu's build. Guys, you've probably all seen this by now, and I don't really need to say anything, do I? This thing is an absolute masterpiece, and you know what? I'm not even going to ruin it by talking anymore. I'm going to let you enjoy it for a bit. Aye, Payu, that is more than a worthy winner. What a beautiful, beautiful looking cam. It would have taken something extremely special to have come in number 1 over that this time around. Dude, I don't know how you do it, but thank you very much for entering this week. Congratulations on the number 1 spot. And I don't know if you saw it or not, but somebody challenged you to build the Sphinx. There's a tough one for you. See if you can actually come up with that, mate. And with that work of art, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up the top 5. But don't go anywhere just yet. We've still got 2 honourable mentions, and we've got to find out who won last week's top 5. Let's start off with the mentions. Our first honourable mention goes to MV Teddy with the X-Wing build. Now, simple reason why this is an honourable mention, we had about 5 buddy vehicle builds submitted this week. I didn't want the top 5 fully filled up with said vehicle builds, so I chose my 2 favourite, and, you know, that's what I've put in. Yeah. I want to start off by saying, Teddy, congratulations at having a crack at an X-Wing. I've seen a lot of TIE fighters, and I must say, your TIE fighter is extremely well put together. I will say, I think it looks more like a TIE bomber, but it doesn't really matter. It's convincing. You can tell what it is. On the X-Wing front, though, I think you've had a really good crack at it. You can tell what it is. That front piece of it is absolutely fantastic, and yeah, it isn't a simple thing to do. I like how you've built it to take down the Queen as well. Functional as well as being good looking. Aye, really good job on this, Teddy. Thank you very much for entering. Congratulations on mention, pal. Now for our second mention. This week it's going to go to Terminus with the Vault-Tec family bunker. First off, I want to start by saying, nice one for doing something different. You don't see many Vault-Tec builds. Although saying that, there was actually 2 submitted this week, but I digress. Yeah, it's not a common sight. Overall, I think you've done a cracking job with the exterior of the bunker. I do think the grass roofs would have looked better anywhere else but the Cranberry Bog, and that's just because of the contrasting colours. If this thing was in a location with grass that wasn't a violent shade of pink or red, whatever the hell you see that as, it'd blend in really, really nicely, and I think it would have improved the overall effect. But like I say though, dude, it's a cool idea. I like the exterior for the most part, and your interior, the way you've decorated that, it's really good. It looks like a mini vault, doesn't it? Well, I mean, that's what you're aiming for, I'm guessing. Thank you very much for entering this week. Congratulations on mention, pal. And that wraps it up for this week's best camps. Let's find out who came in number 1 and the number 2 spot from last week's builds. Okay then, so for those of you that don't know, I gave the power to you guys to choose who won last week, and you've all come through really well. You've been busy voting, and I'm actually really impressed at the turnout. I'm not going to lie, it's better than some of our local elections, but anyhow, I digress. In the number 1 spot, with 40 votes to 34, is Akira with the water park build. Congratulations, mate. Very well done indeed. And a very well-deserved number 2 spot for Moonlight Cowboy. They were both incredible builds, but there could only be one winner. So again, thank you to all for voting. Now, while we're on the subject of voting, actually, we did have to do a little bit of investigation, I think the word is. For most of the time that this thing was running, Jakamaru and Moon were neck to neck. However, in the last couple of hours, Moon got an absolute influx of votes. Some of these accounts were very new, however some were old and quite established, so I weren't sure if it were bots or not, or I don't know what it was. Well, it turns out that some of Moonlight's colleagues at work heard that he was in this competition because, you know, that's what you do at work. You talk about random shit. Sometimes it's the only thing that gets you through the day and stops you from smashing your head into your keyboard or whatever it is you have to hand. To cut a long story short, Moon has asked me not to count any of the votes that his work colleagues made. You know, to keep it sportsmanlike, I think. I think that's the word. But yeah, regardless of who won, both camps were absolutely fantastic. And again, thank you all for voting. As ever, I'd like to say a massive thank you to everybody who entered this week. There was some incredible camps. If yours didn't get in, please feel free to resubmit next week. There's infinite opportunity for you. And of course, I'd like to say a massive thank you to all my channel members and Patreons. The extra support is much appreciated. I still can't do the scrolly text thing on PlayStation. If anybody knows how to do it, please let me know so I can put these guys' names at the end of the video. That would be very helpful. Anyhow, as we say in the north, I will love you and leave you, and I'll catch you at next one. Have fun, everybody. Much love.